Historically, environmental conservation has displaced Indigenous people from their traditional and ancestral lands across the globe. Conservation biologist Felicia Collins, in her address to the gathering at the Listen to Our Voices panel discussion, sought to draw the nexus between environmental conservation and the impact on the lives and livelihoods of Indigenous people. According to Collins, when the protected areas were first established in the 1870s, it did not include the Indigenous people, but instead focused on the flora and fauna. As a result, the livelihood of Indigenous people were disrupted, thus pushing them into poverty, which led to malnutrition and subsequently death. This occurrence also saw the death of the culture.
And today we have seen cultural identity also weaken because of that displacement, because Indigenous people are no longer able to occupy the territories that their ancestors have once lived on for generations.
However, in contemporary society, it has been recognized that conservation cannot be isolated and that conservationists cannot establish protected areas without the involvement of people, especially Indigenous people who have occupied the land for centuries, the biologist reminded.
We have acknowledged that we need to include Indigenous people when we come to decision making and the management of these areas. Traditional knowledge is important, and that's something that science has recently begun to acknowledge.
Collins admitted that Guyana's history as it relates to conservation and protected areas has not always been pleasant, referencing the establishment of the Kaieteur National Park in 1929 unbeknownst to the Indigenous community. However, Guyana has come a long way with the passing of the Protected Area Act in 2011. But while the Act shows progress, there is still much to be desired when having conversations regarding conservation and the inclusion of Indigenous people, the biologist reminded.
People coming from a non-Indigenous background or somebody who has not been exposed to that lifestyle needs to understand that, especially when we talk about environmental conservation, it's not black and white, it's not textbook, and it's something that you can only understand if you have experience and lived there.
The goal, Collins said, is to live a balanced life and to bring people and nature together in a space where they can both thrive. Renata Burnette, reporting for the HGP Nightly News.